Alright guys, it's the middle of June and we're in the middle of a massive heat wave. I think it got close to 100 degrees, the humidity is high, and I live in the south, so it's been tough. But the last thing we want to do is heat up the house. The air conditioner is doing everything it can to keep the house comfortable. So we're cooking dinner tonight and made some cornbread. So if you don't have one of these Dutch ovens, it's made for camp cooking. I call it a camp oven, but you can get these at Walmart for pretty reasonable. This here is a 10-inch Dutch oven, and it's got the rim on the top for holding the coals on the lid, so you can bake in this. I've got some cornbread in here, and I just went by the recipe on the bag. I think it's 2 cups of meal and 1 egg, and I put a pinch of sugar in it, not a whole lot, and some jalapenos and cheese. I always add a big spoonful of sour cream, and then some milk just to the consistency I like it, and I put it in there. I've got a few coals on the bottom. I think I've got about 6 coals on the bottom, and about 10 coals on the top, 11, 12. So it doesn't have to be specific, but shooting for about 400 degrees on this. So it's been cooking about 10 minutes, and I've spun it once. You kind of spin the lid and spin the bottom, turn it every 10 minutes or so to keep it even. So if one side's a little harder than the other, it'll cook a little more even. So I'm thinking maybe about 2 spins and then check it. So we're gonna let it cook a minute, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'm smelling it, so let's take a little peek here. Oh, it's looking pretty good. Let's give it just a few more minutes. It's almost there, and I think I'm gonna take it off the bottom heat because it looks like it's cooking really good. So let's see, that's how many coals I've got on the bottom. So let's give it a few more minutes, and let me spin this lid once. So you just spin the lid like that. Just kind of put the coals back like they were. And I'm using B&B charcoal, and they're bigger in size than like the Kingsford brand. So they may get a little hotter, so I think you kind of have to gauge that by what kind of briquettes you're using. You can use a temperature chart. You can find them online and just look it up, how many coals it takes on the top and how many on the bottom to achieve the temperature you're trying to get to. But there's a few tools you can purchase to make this a lot easier, like this little lid lifter. And I know I got this one at Walmart, and I don't remember how much it cost, but this thing has been outside in the weather for years. I keep it by my grill. I use it all the time to move my coals around in my charcoal grills, and it's just a really handy tool. So if you grill a lot, you might want to just pick one of these up anyways, because they're really, really handy. Picking up things that are hot, you're moving them to the side. These are just really handy. There's also another little trivet you can buy, and I've got one. I don't know exactly where I've got it at, but you kind of set it to the side and you can set your lid on it, and you won't have to set your lid on the ground. So I may pull that out in here in a little bit when I'm thinking this is about done. But I'm just going to give this a couple more minutes to brown a little more on the top, and then we'll check it and make sure it's done in the middle. All right, so I found my trivet. It's just to hold the lid, and it doesn't seem to be faring quite as well in the weather as my lifter is, but it's starting to get a little rusty. But I can smell this cooking. It almost smells like popcorn cooking, like buttered popcorn. So I'm gonna take this out, and that looks good to me. I think that's gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna check it just to make sure it's, oh yeah, it's plenty done. It's clean. So that's it. If if you don't have one of these, they're definitely worth it. This will save from me heating up the house. It's just great. And one thing I forgot, you need a little oil in this, so usually I like save my bacon grease and add a little bacon grease to it, or you can put a big pat of butter in it. So I forgot that in my recipe. You're supposed to add a little fat to the inside of this, to the batter when you make it up. So you can heat up some bacon grease, or you can just melt a little butter and add to it. So I forgot that in the mix, so I think it's in the recipe when you buy some cornmeal. But that's it. So a quick little video, and this is definitely a type of cooking I enjoy doing, and it's challenging because it's just getting the temperatures right and trying not to burn stuff. But when you make something with it, it's definitely rewarding.